If I say it wrong, you have to stop me. Mugen, 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 Mugen.
Please pronounce Mugen.
I'm not going to mess this up. I'm not going to get this wrong. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex from Fitment Industries, and today we're talking about muffins. All right, so seriously, we are here to talk about Mugen. I'm not gonna get it wrong. I'm gonna try not to get it wrong. Pronunciation is key to the Japanese language when it comes to performance parts and wheels, tires, and suspension that you can find at fitmentindustries.com. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell button. And today we're gonna talk to you a little bit about Mugen. And I'm going to slow down when I talk, when I say that word, because I'm probably going to say it wrong 5 or 6 times. And when you notice a really uncomfortable cut in the video, that's because I probably pronounced it incorrectly. Mostly the Midwestern accent, but it may also just be my fault. So let's get into the story of Mugen. It was the early 70s, 1973 to be exact. The Sears Tower just went up, the Vietnam War ended, and you could hear Pink Floyd blaring out of the half of the vehicles on the road. And in the midst of all of this, Mugen was born, meaning without limits, which is why some of the old boys end up saying that it actually is referred to as Mugen power. Unlimited power. Baby, I'm confused. I don't want to say that. Daddy. Ugh. Originally, Mugen was and is an engine tuner and parts manufacturer that manufactures OEM parts like body kits, exhaust, suspension, engine stuff, all for Honda. That's what we're doing. It all started when Hirotoshi Honda started building his own race car at a workshop at his dad's house, which was shortly before his graduation from the Nihon University in 1965. Good on you, bud. After putzing around with race cars and engines, Hirotoshi finally decided to take his leap in 1973 and started his own race engine manufacturing company. Since his dad was, the owner of Honda, pretty good setup, he was closely involved with Honda itself. But not to give a low expectation, but Hirotoshi had a relatively good idea that he wouldn't be in his father's business. The family pedigree of success in that department was pretty low, pretty average. But just like any angsty son, Hirotoshi wanted travel and to do his own thing, and other random stuff like building engines, not really a normal thing that people would like to do. As he started on his own project, some of Honda's own R&D team began to actually get interested in Hirotoshi's project. They even started working with him for free, which was pretty interesting, because if that doesn't show people that either just don't care or that just have an immense passion for building stuff, I'm pretty sure that would do it. The individuals at Mugen wanted one thing, and that was to make the best racing engines on the market. Yeah, brother, more power to you. Make the best one you can. It was a 1200cc, and it was a really small boy. They then took the project and decided to send it. They entered the car into the Formula FJ 1300 racing series and ended up winning their first race. Just like when your dad told you that he was proud of you, or maybe he didn't, in which case we might have to talk about that in the comment section below, which wouldn't really help the analogy at all. But at the point, Mugen really caught Honda's attention. I mean, it was finally starting to take shape in a sense that it might actually be a pretty viable business idea. And that's when Honda actually started working side by side with Mugen. In 1974, Mugen then started producing the MF318 engine, which also won its first Formula FJ 1300 racing series. And from there, it went on to become one of the most dominant engines in that series for many years. A year later, Mugen started selling racing parts for Civics, but not just stuff that went for the engine, but didn't have anything to do with the engine. They ended up getting into everything from body panels and things like that. Essentially, Mugen wanted to dig into everything and be the best at it. So they decided to do just that, and they got into even motocross. And when they finished the bike, it looked like it was made 20 years into the future. It was practically future-proof. It was this future-looking thing, and it was awesome. But it was a little bit pricey at the time, but it was worth it because every single piece was, and I quote, very, very, very high quality. The public saw the motocross bikes in 1977 and fell in love. It was pretty awesome. That's all I got. 1979 and 1980 then rolled around, and Mugen actually had their own factory and moved into a new building. They were moving up in the world and having to take a name for themselves, they just decided to become a big boy and started doing big boy things. They were great at what they did, and they had more coming for them if they were gonna continue to just build stuff. Everybody wanted to be a part of Mugen. That's just what they wanted to do. But as if motocross and Formula racing wasn't enough, Mugen then developed a 100cc rotary valve kart engine in 1982. These guys pretty much just got bored super fast and just started making it just because they could, and they put it on some sort of platform and made it stupid fast. It was 2 short years later, and they started selling aluminum alloy wheels, body kits, suspension, and even more engine pieces like camshafts and gaskets and pretty much everything in between. The stuff was now for sale in the US, which was actually made it even more popular because it hit an entirely new market. Only problem is that it was pretty much only through Honda dealers, which was confusing because usually you did not go through your OEM to get your aftermarket stuff. But after a few more years, Mugen essentially started getting into pretty much everything. They had engines, wheels, body kits, formula racing stuff. They had built such a solid company for themselves, and they moved into like this other new Mugen building. And then it's just like, they just kept going up. I mean, do you hear it? I think I hear it. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? It's glorious. It's the glorious formula exhaust note. Oh my God, it's so good. They built their very first F1 engine, which was a 3.5 liter V10. Mugen also had a hand in the development of the S2000s for their performance. They used tuning technologies that they acquired through formula racing, and they worked and they tested it and they put it in there, and it just was like boom, bing, bang, boom, done. You throw the peanut butter, the jelly, the 2 pieces of bread, you got yourself a solid sandwich that was the S2000. Fast forward a few years. It's now 2004. Fast and Furious culture was in full swing, and MTech Co. Ltd. and a couple other letters had helped Mugen restructure following the tax evasion scandal that happened. Long story with that one, but in short, usually tax evasion involves taxes being avoided. Usually when you get in trouble, that means you got caught. Tax guy went to jail. Hirotoshi stepped down as the company president. Things were rough. Honda pulled most of its capital from Mugen, but continued to be partner for autocross because they still actually really like to win. It was kind of like, hey, you keep doing it, buddy, but we're just gonna kind of stay away from you. Disclaimer, Hirotoshi was found not guilty of tax evasion. But 2006 rolled around and they were like, hey, maybe we should have a headquarters in the US, and maybe we should probably add one in Europe. And so they did, and Mugen America and Mugen Euro were born. And pretty much Mugen has been up to the same things ever since. Building race cars, building bikes, race engines, parts for cars, and pretty much everything in between. Even with like the adjustment and trouble they pretty much went to in the early 2000s, they continue to be a company that has pressed on, if you will. They're pretty much living the life being an engineering powerhouse, but for a lot of people, Mugen hasn't been in the spotlight for news and information for a couple of years. Mugen hasn't been at the forefront of information and like the whole thing for a couple different reasons. Now, they're still a very popular brand, but they aren't as involved as they used to be in a lot of stuff that a lot of people used to care about. It's just one of those things where their parts are really expensive. What they specialize in is more race-oriented stuff. And for a lot of people, that's just not something that they're into. Mugen parts aren't cheap. I mean, it's just, and they're Honda parts at the same time. So it wasn't just something that wasn't widely available, but it was also something that just didn't really pan out for a lot of enthusiasts. Mugen continues to be one of those big company names that everybody remembers, but not a lot of people know what they're up to in current day and age. But if you're more on the racing side of things, you'll probably still see their name around because they continue to make really just neat for people to enjoy on the racetrack. Let us know if you got a Honda Civic or something like that in the comment section below, or if you got some Mugen parts, let us know. I'm Alex from Fitment Industries. Don't forget to subscribe. Wheels, tires, suspension, fitmentindustries.com. I'm getting so much faster than that because I'm not breathing. Don't forget, we're doing a wheel giveaway with ESR. I got the shirt on. It's on the front. It's on the back. I got 5 seconds left. We'll see you later. Peace.